Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another of your Friday night spooky sessions with me, your host, Hedda Gold. Now, I do apologise for me not being on camera tonight, but I'm afraid that I've got a health condition that makes me swell up, and my face is so incredibly swollen. There's no way I could be on camera in front of you. So tonight I'm doing a voiceover, so I'm afraid instead of looking at me, you're just going to have to listen to me. I'm very sorry the video's out so late, but it's been one of those days and I hope you can forgive me. So I want to welcome everyone to their Friday night spooky sessions. I hope everybody is well, and we are going to have episodes 3 and 4 of I Made a Deal with an Angel tonight. I've had it heavily requested. It seems to have gone down very well last week. Where did we leave Sarah? Well, Belial made her drink a full bottle of whiskey and vodka, and that killed her. And we left her looking down at her own body. So, you know, she didn't fulfill her part of the contract. So now Belial has her soul. So please sit back, relax, while I begin episode 3 of series 1 of I Made a Deal with an Angel. And I really do hope that you enjoy it. You know that feeling you get when you're falling from a very high distance and you can feel your stomach behind you? You know that panic-inducing moment where your body enters fight or flight mode, but it's entirely powerless to perform even the simplest task, so it just kind of resolves itself to death? That's what staring at your own body is like. I didn't give up though. I rushed to my body and tried to wake up or dive into it or something. No, no, I'm not dead. My hands go right through my body and I can't help but scream in panic. I turn to Jenny and slap the absolute crap out of her. To my shock, it works. Belial even made a comment when he saw her face move. Oh, I picked a ripe one. Jenny, wake up, you dumb bitch, I'm dying! I shout. Jenny groans and opens her eyes. As she gets up, I get pushed out of the way. Ouch, what the hell? Belial snickers. I love that you say that. But a body that has a soul in it usually resists when an outside spirit tries to get inside. So the average person can push you around, but they can't feel you for the most part. Some are more perceptive than others. Jenny's rubbing her forehead. Sarah, get off me. You're heavy. Oh, get off. She groans and tries to move my body. I try waving my hand in front of Jenny's face, and she doesn't notice. Oh, damn it, Jenny, why can't you be psychic like that lady in Poltergeist? That film portrayed the afterlife so terribly. Belial shakes his head in shame. I shoot Belial a glare. Oh, really? What movie got it right? My personal favourite? The Exorcist. And he grinned. What kind of effed up angel are you? Belial's black wings spread out, wide. Sarah, come on now, you're smarter than that. You knew all along. I look to the floor and I stomp my foot. Right, an angel who disagreed with God, a fallen. Jenny appears startled at the sound of my foot hitting the ground. She then starts to push my body with her foot. Sarah, get up. Get up. You knew that, Sarah. I know you did. Belial mocks me. I knew, but I figured I'd hit my goal before it mattered. I thought it was all a dream. You knew it, didn't you? That I wouldn't do it. Sarah? Jenny now is awake and shaking my body frantically. Oh my God. She's then running to the phone, dialing it frantically. Sarah, I should be honest, I targeted you from the start. You are a powerful young woman, strong, able-minded, confident, and destined for greatness. I grimace as I look to Jenny. She screams into the phone. What do you mean? You would have found a cure for a few diseases, to be honest. The ALS cure would have been your first discovery, followed shortly by a breakthrough in immune system response therapy. You then either would have discovered a cure for cancer or AIDS, depending. You would have discovered one while investigating the other and cured both. Jenny is yelling. She's not breathing, get here fast. She then hangs up and starts performing CPR on my body. Yes, Jenny, come on, revive me, I shout. Belial laughs. How long do you think you've been dead, Sarah? Huh? Belial shakes his head. Your corpse is quite cold there, dear. For you to be outside of it like this, you need to have been brain dead for some time. But people have out-of-body experiences all the time. Belial laughs at me. Yes, on an operating table, while trained doctors are working the instant of death to revive them. I grab either side of my head as I look at Jenny, doing chest compressions on my lifeless body. After a few compressions, the contents of my stomach bubble out of my mouth, causing Jenny to retch. Jenny turns to my corpse over its side. Jenny hugs her legs and is rocking back and forth, freaking out. Oh my God. Oh my God, Sarah. Oh my God. Watching Jenny, I walk over to her and hug her, even as the paramedics come to the door and rush in. I don't know if Jenny can feel me holding her, but she seems to be freaking out slightly less, or she's just going into shock. I watch in horror as one of the EMTs shakes his head and looks to his partner. Calling it, man. She's cold. Jenny just straight up screams at this point. The EMTs have done their best to calm her down, while also bagging my corpse. Everyone eventually leaves, and I turn to Belial. Belial is sitting happily on the couch, grinning ear to ear as he watched the whole thing. That was lovely. She's completely and utterly broken. Jenny is absolutely never going to be the same. She's positively suicidal. Yay! F you! Shout at him. Belial glares down at me. You need to apologise with all of your heart. My knees hit the floor and suddenly I feel as if I just kicked a puppy. I'm so sorry, Master. Belial nods. Very well. On your feet, Sarah. I get to my feet. Why did I call you Master? Your soul is mine, meaning I am your master and you are my thrall, Belial explains. So now what? I ask. Excellent question. Belial takes my hand. We're off to fetch a component number 2. He stops as if realising he left the gas on. Which is late. Lovely. Well, apparently we have a week while my servants prepare the vessel. I had a perfectly good vessel wrapped up in that body bag about an hour ago, you know, I shout, stomping my foot. Belial shakes his head. No, no. Your spirit is what I was after, while your body looked lovely. It only did so because of an overuse of my magic. The vessel had much, much more subtle changes made to it. Subtle changes? I gave Belial a wary look. Only mild physical changes with a little rework of the entire nervous system. For you, dear, I had to rewrite your entire body from the ground up. Not good for the purpose I need. He gives me an absolutely demonic grin. Count yourself lucky, young Sarah. By the time I'm done, you're going to be a demon. Over my... I was about to say dead body, but stopped myself. Belial just snickers at me. Well, we have some time to kill, it seems, so we can do some sightseeing. Belial snaps his fingers, and we're in a funeral parlour instantly. I look around, seeing friends and family from both Dave and my side. That was fast. Not really, it's been about 5 days. Belial clarifies. Wait, how? I ask. Skipping ahead is easy in this realm. Can't go back, though. Short jumps are nice and simple. Belial claps his hands together, rubbing them gently, and then excitedly. Oh, now, come on. Let's do some eavesdropping. Belial hisses as he walks me over to Dave's father. Oh, now, this is interesting. I take a look at Dave's father, and normally he's just a fairly heavy-set fellow with a grey moustache and a bald head and a perpetual nasty look on his face. He's the sort of fat cat you'd see in a stuffed suit smoking a cigar and drinking brandy with the good old boys. However, I notice a weird mark on his forehead. It looks like a coin of some kind, and it's glowing red. What is that, master? Curse under my breath as I find myself calling Belial that more and more. Worse yet is, I'm actually starting to feel a weird devotion to him growing inside of me. It's like the longer I'm near him, the more I want to please him. I hate it. That is the mark of my brother, Mammon. He's the avatar of greed. Seems Dave's daddy didn't get where he is now on his own. I shudder. At least I'm not the only one doomed here, though I was taken first, apparently. Dave's father, who, if I remember right, was named Morris. I think he went by Murray or something. I'll call him Murray. Murray is standing with Dave and he's none too pleased. I told you, boy, there are women you F and there's women you marry. You don't marry the woman you're supposed to just F, he grumbles to Dave. Father, please, not here. You didn't know her as I did, Dave says, defending me. Oh, please don't pretend as if you had her to yourself. That girl was the town bicycle wherever she went. Everyone had that damn right. You think she was just only let out to ride her once you knocked her up? She saw you as a meal ticket and nothing else. Murray harumphs to himself. It's better it ended this way, Dave, it is. You have a son and no horrid wife who would divorce you for your riches later in life. She wasn't like Mum. Dave walks away from his father at this point, bringing Jason in a carriage along with him. I march up to Murray and poke him in the throat, which seems to cause him to cough. I never liked you either, old man. Belial then grabs my hand. Wait, this part is juicy. Suddenly, I'm standing before my mother. She's wearing all black, her hands in her lap. She looks emotionally drained. Her eyes have a faraway look in them, and they seem to be looking past the casket. My aunt sits next to her. How are you doing, Deb? My mum snaps out of her blank stare and turns to her sister. Doing as good as you can expect, Marie. My Aunt Marie just nods. So, terribly then. Mum nods. I mean, first Hank, now Sarah. If you need anything, you can just live with me and Frank for a while. Mum shakes her head and is silent for some time. They say she drank it all on purpose. Aunt Marie just looks away. She blamed herself for her father's death. I know she did. I just thought she would get past it. She always seemed so strong and independent. I just never asked. My Aunt Marie just shook her head, placing her hand on my mum's shoulder. Deb, it's not your fault at all. Belial snickers. Oh, is that what you really think, Auntie Marie? I look to Belial oddly as he places his hand on my aunt's head. Suddenly, even with her mouth not moving, I hear my aunt's voice. The little trollop partied too hard on her birthday, and you think the bimbo actually felt bad for driving Hank up the wall? Jesus Christ, Debbie, you're one gullible bitch. That hung herself out anywhere so she could get anything. She'd probably effed her way through school to get those grades. Not your fault. Bad parenting is what got her in that casket. What the hell is that? I shout. Belial smiles. It's how she really feels. Belial then places his hand on my mother's head. I flinch for a second before I hear a soft, caring voice. Sarah, I miss you so much already. I'm still so proud of you. I don't believe a word they say. Not one. I know you were a smart girl. I'm sure you had so much joy in your life. You just got carried away. My sweet girl. Be with God. Belial pulls his hand away. Ugh. Well, isn't your mother just a saint? I'm drying tears away when I look at my hands. Wait, I'm dead now. How am I crying? Physical representation of the soul, dear. Anything your body could do, your spirit can do. Anything your body could feel, your spirit will feel. Heck, you'll even bleed and experience pain in the same way. Belial explains as he looks around and then he grins again. Oh no, what is it now, master? I dread what is next. Belial then leads me to the back of the room where Jenny is. Or at least I think it's Jenny. She's wearing huge sunglasses and her hair and her head is all done up in a scarf, like she's trying to hide her identity. Belial's hands lie on her head. Sarah, I loved you when you ran off with that rich boy, Dave. It's all my fault you're dead. I thought if I got you drunk enough, you'd fall for me and we could run off together. But don't worry, Sarah. After today, I'm going to come to join you. I'm coming with you, my sweet Sarah. A voice echoes through the air. What the hell? Why didn't she ever say anything like that to me before? I glare at her. Oh, for goodness sake, Jenny. You were always so awful to me when I was ugly, but once I'm pretty, I'm suddenly your girl crush. Belial laughs. Oh, this is rich. You want to watch her do it? Do what? I was shocked. Oh, yes, I think we're going to watch her kill herself. Belial muses. Walking past us is a priest who looks very concerned. He reaches my mother and says a few things. I walk over to hear the rest of their conversation. The priest is speaking to my mother as I draw near. I want to let you know that honesty with the dead is important. So please, I beg you to consider this as I speak. I mean no disrespect to your daughter. My mother just nods. Of course, Father. Belial smiles, walking behind me, his hand on my shoulder. Oh, this is going to go over swimmingly. The priest stands at the front of the room, placing his Bible open on a podium. Good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, my condolences to Deborah Baker. Bless each and every one of you for being here today to support her during this terrible loss. The crowd murmurs, and my bitch of an aunt just rubs my mum's shoulder. I glare at my aunt. Secondly, to Dave Miller. Dave, to lose a wife and mother of your child after such a short marriage is a terrible thing. My condolences. The priest opens his Bible. Sarah Baker, a brilliant young woman, cut down in her prime. While many can talk about the circumstances which led to her death, more are concerned with the state of her spirit after a life lived so full. There's actually a chuckle from someone on Dave's side. But I want us to remember John chapter 8, verse 7. Let him who is without sin among you be the first to throw a stone at her. For everyone sins, some sin more so than others. But we must remember that God forgives. Sarah's reputation was sordid before, yes, but when she met her husband Dave, had her child, she was a devoted wife and a caring mother. He flips a few pages of the Bible. Let us also recall Luke 7, verse 47. Therefore I tell you, her sins, which are many, are forgiven, for she loved much. But he who is forgiven little, loves little. The priest now looks to Dave's family, specifically his father. I heard many a depraved tale of Sarah's youth, and I hear many in this room whispering ill of the deceased. So again I ask each of you, whoever is without sin, cast the first stone. The room was dead silent. The priest began again. Lord Jesus Christ forgives us all, for we are only human. Now let us pray. Belial rolls his eyes and snaps his fingers. This is dull. God, so dull. We're instantly in Jenny's room, and it's the evening time. Wait, that Jesus say stuffs, can he help me? If you hadn't sold your soul, then yes, Belial clarifies. Okay, did you just jump us forward in time again, Master? Oh, I swear I almost asked it in reverence at this point. Yes, because the show's about to start, Belial says, taking a seat. Show? I ask. Jenny barges in through the door, locking it behind her. She throws her scarf off her head and then throws her glasses at the wall. She looks around the room and then runs to her kitchen. Before I can react, she grabs a knife and presses the tip to her throat. She screams for a second and then drops the knife. Good girl, Jenny, I say. Jenny then looks to her balcony and throws the blinds open. She undoes the lock to the sliding glass door and opens it, stepping out into the cold. Oh shit, no, I shout as I run over to her. Jenny gets up on the edge of the balcony, standing unsteadily. I rush over and hug her legs tight. Don't do it, please don't do it. Jenny puts her arms out on either side of her and closes her eyes. I hold on as hard as I can and watch in horror as Jenny's body falls 3 stories down to the ground. Her legs snapping and her body tumbling onto her shoulder and then rolling onto her back. I scream, Jenny, no! Jenny's voice is above me. I see her standing on the railing. Sarah? Oh my God, Sarah! She jumps down from the railing and hugs me tight and kisses me. I knew we'd be together. Struggling out of her hug, I managed to free myself. Damn it, Jenny, you dumb bitch. Why did you do that? And why aren't you down there rather than up here? Belial chimes in. Jumpers' spirits leave their bodies before they hit the ground, Sarah. You see, once they resolve themselves to their fate, well, they're already dead. Jenny looks to Belial in shock. Is that the angel of death or something? I whisper to Jenny. Worse, Jenny. Listen to me. Get out of here. Get back to your body and live, okay? Live a long life. Just forget about me, okay? I effed up. That's not a good angel and he owns my ass now. Okay, just please go. But I already... Jenny begins. I push her off the edge of the balcony and toward her body as I shout, Live, Jen! Just live! Jenny falls until she hits her body where she vanishes. Her body starts gasping for breath. Someone next to her has been giving her CPR. In shock, I watch as he comforts her and he shouts for someone to call an ambulance. Belial peeks his head over the balcony and then turns to me. You were a catch, Sarah, redeeming a jumper even after you sold your soul to me. By my father, you are a special one. He placed his hands on my shoulders. I'm quite pleased you're mine. Maybe it was the praise, the close contact, or just how long my soul was in his possession, but I felt genuinely happy that he was happy. Thank you, Master. I shake my head. What the... Oh, don't worry, Sarah. That's just your devotion as my newest thrall showing. He tilts my chin up. You see, I'm the avatar of lust. At some point I will have you, you see. And when that happens, you will be absolutely elated. A shudder runs through me as he says this, and I hate to say it, but I'm genuinely looking forward to it. Well, things should have finally moved along to the point we can begin your ascension, or descension rather, Belial states. Belial moves his hand up for another snap. No, wait. Well, before I know it, we're in a dark, dank basement of some kind. There are nasty pentagrams all over the walls, and the smell of mildew everywhere. There are skulls of several dead animals and a large altar in the middle of the room. I'm also pretty sure there's a rotting animal corpse somewhere in the room, but I can't find where it is. My attention is drawn to the altar. On the altar is a woman, or the caricature of one anyway. She has long blonde hair, huge ruby lips, huge boobs, and a corset. She's also got an impossibly tiny waist and ridiculous hips. She's wearing fishnet stockings and platform heels, and looks like she's got a number of tattoos on her upper thighs. You know, I can't tell what they are from here. Whoa, and I thought I was a bit of a slut, I remark as I appraise the bimbo before us. Belial interjects. Actually, she's a prostitute. Well, she was a porn star, and then she became a heroin addict. That's the key component. The rest, well, base materials. The woman on the slab mumbles. Guys, it's 300 apiece if you're going to do me, or I'll... Look, if I can just get a fix, I'll do you for nothing. You promised one or the other. 3 men in brown robes walk in, one with a needle. Fine, quit bitching. He then injects her. Oh, the woman shouts. Oh, that's good. Oh, oh. And then she just zoned out. The second guy looks to the other two. So you guys are sure? The first guy with the needle nods. He has a moustache. I told you I heard the voice of the demon. He said to bring her here, lure her here with the heroin, and then stab her in the heart with the ice pick. He looks to the third man. A third man nods, showing the ice pick. That's what he said. Nothing else? The second guy asks. Nope. Just that we're going to have a demoness serve our every sexual desire for the rest of our lives, said the first guy. He looks to the third guy with the ice pick. Come on, man, let's do this. At this point, Belial grabs me by the back of my head, grinning. I'm rather excited, Sarah. Well, I'm looking down at the drugged out porn star below me. Why? I can't move away from him. His hand is on the back of my head still. Because, he says with a hint of madness, it's been almost a century since I created a new succubus. And that, my friends, is the end of part 3. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to have a little drink because my mouth's a little dry. And I don't like having to make videos like this where I know I'm not like looking at you, because, you know, I feel normally I'm engaging you properly. But I'm still going to ask you what you think of episode 3. And it looks like this is Sarah's future with Belial. She obviously didn't know this before, but he's going to turn her into a succubus. Now, my understanding of a succubus, there's a succubus and an incubus. An incubus is like a male demon who will go and have sexual intercourse with women. A succubus is a female demon who, when summoned, will have sexual relationships with men. That's my understanding of it anyway. So it looks like that's That's what's been happening with it's what is going to happen to Sarah. So I will now go on. It's been, oh my goodness, that was a long one. That took half an hour. Part 4. So this is part 4 of I Made a Deal with an Angel. Wait, what? A succubus? I shouted. Don't worry, she's a little older. But when her soul burns away and becomes your body, your youth will return, and you'll be even a more perfect form of lust than she is now. Wait, okay, let's just talk this over, okay? How about I just haunt people for you? The third man holds his ice pick over the right side of the slut's chest. Belial growls, moving his finger over to the left, a small brown mark showing on her skin. The first guy laughs. Look, our demon lord is guiding us. He moves the third guy's hand over to the new spot. Don't miss. The third guy nods and stabs the pick into that spot once, pulling it out. The woman gasps as she's been stabbed. In you go, Belial shouts. Wait, what? Don't I get a countdown or? He shoves my head into the hole in her chest, and I feel myself sucked in. My eyes shoot open and I look around me, seeing the 3 men looking down. I'm tied to the altar, and I look down and the wound is healing rapidly. And with a grunt I try to pull myself off the table, but the straps hold me down tightly. My heart is racing, my vision's blurring. Is she a demoness now? The third guy asks. I'm about to kick him when pain racks through my entire body from head to toe. I scream. It feels like someone's ripping my toes off one by one. The high heels I'm wearing tear apart as my toes change into a pair of cloven hooves, and my feet stretch out longer and grow a layer of purple fur. The pain subsides in my legs for a moment and then changes into a strange tugging sensation. My legs are toning themselves, losing any form of fat that I had. The tattoos vanish as my hips somehow grow even wider, snapping the underwear I'm wearing. Steam is burning off my skin and everything feels way too hot, like I'm burning from the inside out. I scream again because someone is tearing my spine out through my back. A thin and long tail bursts out of the small of my back, and I raise it up to my field of vision. Before my blinking eyes, I watch as the tip of the tail suddenly splits into a spade. I groan. Now my midsection feels like it's being crushed. I can hear ligaments snapping and reattaching. I suddenly realise the corset isn't tight on me anymore. My waist is now actually that tiny. With my hourglass figure pretty solidified, a new intense burning pain radiates from my back. I scream as a pair of huge purple wings tear free from my back, knocking 2 of the 3 men over. Finally, I sit up from the intensity of all the pain, snapping the restraints as if they weren't there. I stagger to my feet, or hooves at this point, still feeling the strange power washing over my body. My skin tightens and grows smoother and clearer. My hair changes colour from blonde to a deep auburn. I gasp as I feel my nose crack and adjust, my brow change shape. It's as if someone is moulding my face with their hands, cracking cheekbones and pulling at muscles, all reshaping the size and shape of my head. I gasp. Every change must now be done. I turn to my would-be captors, heaving breaths as I look over each one. Suddenly an incredible pain rushes to both sides of my head. I grab either side, screaming. my ears filled with a cracking, grinding noise. A pair of ram-like horns push out of my skull. Just when I think they're done, they crack and creak another few inches, curling around from the front of my head to the back. They finally stop, curled near my ears, the points stopping just at my earlobes. All the pain finally subsides. I shake my head. My long and luxurious hair falls between my new wings. I flex them experimentally. My vision is clearer than it has ever been. I can see every little thing in the room, even some things that weren't there. I can see a kind of aura around each of the runes and pentagrams on the walls. Some animal carcasses have a black aura forming over them, which I can tell is a curse or at best the beginnings of one. I sniff the air. Amidst all the mildew and dead animal parts, I can smell something else, something that smells oddly appetizing. I smell men, 3 of them. Looking at these men is in a vastly different light. I realise I don't want them. I need them. I lick my lips and notice my canines have gotten a little longer, and my tongue, I can stretch it far longer than normal. Belial stands next to me. Oh my, aren't you beautiful? Tell them to show you a mirror. I turn my eyes to the 3rd guy who had the ice pick. Sweetie, mind fetching me a mirror? The 3 men stand there dumbfounded until the 3rd guy finally drops the ice pick, rushing up some stairs. The other 2 men hug each other. It worked, they shout in unison. I can't believe it worked, shouted the 1st guy. While they're celebrating, I'm appraising each of them. Master, why do I want to have sex with them? Oh, Sarah, that's just the addiction part of this body. During your transmogrification, it changed from a heroin addiction into your sexual addiction. Well, I looked at both the men and just said, I'm hungry. Yes, you're starving right now. Your transformation isn't quite complete, Belial explains. These 3 men were promised a sexual servant for as long as they lived. The 3rd guy comes down with a flimsy full-length mirror and pops it in front of me. I look like sex on a pair of goat legs. And it's weird to say, but as I praise myself, I must admit I'm hot. My face is my own, my hair as well, but everything else is like a younger version of the person and body I inhabited. My skin is completely flawless. I look at my fingers and I see perfectly manicured purple nails. They don't appear painted. They're pointed and about 1 inch long. Experimentally, I loll my tongue out of my mouth and find it hangs out almost about 8 inches. I flex it and curl it in on itself and giggle at the possibilities as I pull it back into my mouth. I notice the 3 men are staring at me slack-jawed. I wink at them. Oh, boys, I have to admit, despite being a bit shocked myself, you are looking rather yummy. Belial walks in front of me. Before the fun starts and I excuse myself, I'll give you your orders and training. Firstly, your goal is to entice, seduce, and destroy anyone who would be attracted to you. If you're going after heads of state, you're to ruin their marriages and enslave them if possible. Serve yourself while on earth, as long as you continue to do this. Feel free to target the clergy whenever you like, but be careful not to get yourself stuck in a church. Your powers don't work on holy ground. I look to Belial. Seeing his body makes me weak at the knees, and I suddenly want nothing more than to please his every desire. Powers, master? Belial licks his finger and places it at the centre of my forehead. Your training, my dear. Through some horrific screeches and other images soaring through my mind, it's as if someone compressed all of my classes in my life in a second. From this, I become completely familiar with my body. The wings, the tail, the horns, everything. So I'll recap before we continue. First, I can fly with my wings, which is literally the least they can do. I can wrap them around myself, and by doing so, I can appear to be wearing anything or appear as anyone. Little old lady? Your high school crush? Yes, to both. Doesn't even need to be female, apparently. My tail, surprisingly, has some cool tricks. The tip leaks a poison that, when ingested, completely paralyzes someone for up to an hour. It's also much stronger than you'd think. I could choke a man with it and use it even to drag someone behind me, which was handy on my way here. Eyes have some cool tricks. If I lock eyes with you and you do the same with me, I can give suggestions. As long as they're of a sexual nature and you're aroused by my physical body, they will take. However, they are weak suggestions. You'd only do them if you would have to do them anyway without asking. For example, I can't make you walk off a bridge or stab someone by looking at you. That being said, I can ask you to kiss me, and if you're so inclined, then all bets are off. If I can get my lips on yours, I can do a few neat tricks. I can draw the strength from your body, I can leave you helpless in my arms, or I can completely enthrall you. At that point, I should say that if I do kiss you, I could make you walk off a cliff singing the national anthem. However, I won't let a nice snack get away from me. Sex is the next thing, and if we have sex, I normally have control over how much and how fast I can leech the life force out of your body. Unless I'm starving, then you're toast. Speaking of toast, the three guys in front of me are doing rock, paper, scissors, trying to figure out who gets the first go at me. At this point, my starvation is ruling every other thought in my head, and I saunter over to the guy who stabbed me. Me? Or Trixie, the person whose body I inhabit? Oh, I know Trixie's entire life story. It's in the back of my head. But let's focus on getting her a little revenge, shall we? Oh, boys, I purr. You have the rest of your lives to fight over me, so I'll pick for now. I pull him by his robes. You two wait here. Once we're out of the basement and heading up the stairs, I wrap a wing around him and look into his eyes. Take me to a nice secluded room. His eyes dilate a bit and he nods, taking me through the pretty disgusting house. It's small and the entire place is covered in disgusting trash and rotting food. I can smell everything, but my hunger is overriding my other decisions. Soon I'm taken to a ratty room with a threadbare bed. Once we get there, he grins. I snicker and I turn him to face me. I pull him in for an intense kiss, and when I break it, his eyes are blank and he's entirely in my power. I just want to have you, and I will have you. He does what I ask, and I do have to say, I'm very disappointed in what I have to work with, but any port in a storm, as they say. I then say to him, are you ready for the last moment of your life? And I taunt him. He gives me an odd look before he crosses his eyes. I pulled his essence into me and I cry out, and suddenly between pleasure and a cold drink on a hot day, his energy and strength surge into me. I watch as he's surrounded by a purple aura and grows thinner and thinner. He struggles weakly against me, his thinning arms and increasingly bony fingers clasping at my body, trying to push my hips off his. The power trip is unreal. His life is fading faster and faster, and I feel stronger with each passing second. I can feel my wings growing larger, my horns push another inch out or two, and my tail wraps instinctively around his neck and starts to squeeze with growing strength. Yes, give it to me, give me everything, I shout. Eventually, the guy stops moving, and as he does, I feel the surge of energy turn to a trickle and then stops entirely. He looks like a dried up mummy at this point. I just get off the bed and poke at his dried up corpse. Are you in there? I say to him. He's stone dead. Whether because I was still starving or due to my transformation, I felt little to no sympathy for him. You're an idiot, you know that? You should know better than to trust demons. I reflect on the irony briefly before I pick up his corpse and drop it onto the dishevelled couch in the living room. Then I go downstairs to grab guy number 2. Both men were still eager, apparently having heard the commotion upstairs. So that's one man with the ride of his life. Who's next? I ask. From here it was like rinse and repeat, and after guy number 2 I felt even stronger. My hunger was almost sated, but I found that I was literally physically stronger. The strength of my own body plus the other 2 men was surging through me. I was absolutely drunk on the intense power from the whole experience. So when it came time for guy number 3, I decided to test my strength. My turn? The moustached guy asked with anticipation. I grab him by the shoulders and force him to the ground with ease. He starts to panic and he tries to struggle against me. I grin down at him as I completely overpower him. Your turn, little man. Wait, you're ours. You're the gift Lord Belial gave us. My tail snakes over his mouth and shoves in past his lips as his eyes grow wide. I lean down and whisper to him as he goes, rigid. No, you're the gift he gave me. I then start to drain the life out of the man. My tail goes round his throat and I start to strangle him. Despite being paralysed, he keeps crying out for help. Jake, Taylor, help me. Where are you? I think those were their names, I can't be sure. Grinning, my tail is snaking round his neck. Oh, honey, they're already dead. His eyes grow even wider, if that's possible. Oh, no. Oh, you know, you did say you wanted me to serve your sexual pleasures until your dying days. Now, you give me everything you've got and more. And with that, he just screamed. He wasn't able to move, and I sucked the life out of him. It's at this point that things go entirely off the rails for me. Apparently, the 3 stooges were supposed to lure Trixie to the house where they would do their deed. No big issue, right? Well, the dinguses had instead snatched her off the street in full view of folks who knew her. Those folks called the police. Those police got their plates from the moron's van and tracked her to their house because, of course, they did this in their house. So now, while I'm busy killing the last guy, a policeman kicks the door into the basement and spots me. Okay, get on the... What the hell? Growling, frustrated. I give a final effort and I rolled off the altar. I hear the officer shouting onto his radio as he says, I've got a body and a perp. She's in some kind of sex costume. I need backup. After composing myself, I take a nice deep breath and close my rings around myself. I make myself out like a human woman, wearing the outfit I had on when the 3 morons brought me down here. Or her, it's kind of jumbled up in my head. I stagger to my feet. Oh, officer. Thank God. I pretend to be very unsteady. The officer gives a startled look and looks to the body, not dropping his gun. What happened to him? Why were you on top of that corpse? I fake some tears, looking him in the eyes. Oh, they made me do it. They made me jump on that terrible thing. They said if I didn't, they'd kill me. I had a few sobs in there while working on my power and looking into his eyes. The officer drops his gun down, walking towards me. Oh, okay, I believe you. Just let's get you out of here, okay? Do you have ID? I keep my eyes on his. You don't need my ID, honey. Just get me out of here without anyone else seeing me. I can't do that. I'm close enough at this point. I kiss him deeply, pulling him in close. He struggles for a moment, but eventually he relaxes. I pull back, looking him in the eyes. Get me out of here safely and without anyone seeing me. He nods mutely and pulls out his gun as we walk up the stairs. And at the top of the stairs is another cop. Ramirez, who's that? A woman's voice asks. I whisper into his ears. No witnesses. Killer, get me out of here. You'll do anything for me. Officer Ramirez aims his gun at the officer at the top of the stairs. Hey, holy shit, Ramirez, stop, she shouts. I see Ramirez shake his head slowly. I can't. He pulls the trigger 3 times. We make sure to make our way up the steps, and I notice the woman isn't there. I look to Ramirez, who looks to the left, and suddenly was body checked into the wall by the woman. Both of them are blocking my way, so I try to push past them. I have little issue doing this, as I've got the strength of 4 people. However, me forcing my way through knocks Ramirez on the head. Freeze, the woman shouts. I turn to her, trying to enthrall her with my eyes. Okay, whatever crazy bullshit you're doing with your eyes, stop now. On the ground. F you, pig. I shout and rush towards the back door. I will shoot. Part of the knowledge that Belial gave me told me that I couldn't die by a mortal weapon, but it would mess with my camouflage. I decided to chance it, and I do my best to run to the door. That's about when I feel bullets strike my shoulder and another in my chest. I roar in pain. It's not a human sound, and it startles me and the woman cop. My disguise drops, the wings unfurl, tail swings out, and my hooves push me up another foot taller. I look down at my chest and see yellowish fluid leaking out the holes. Both seem to be slowly closing, but I can feel myself weakening as they do. What the hell? The female officer screams. Turning round, I charge her. She unloads the rest of her clip into me, and one of those bullets hits my head. Everything goes black, and I hit the floor. All I see now is black as I hear the female officer's voice somewhere behind me. She took 2 bullets and turned into that thing. She's not human. It's not a costume. Another man's voice is overhead. Officer Ramirez described her as a normal woman. She was controlling him. Ramirez's voice cracks in. Captain Judy, you shot her dead, right? Judy, the woman, chimes in. I put one between her eyes. Then why is the body bag rising and falling like she's breathing? Ramirez asks. Oops. Soon I see light as the zipper into the body bag I was in is opened. I blink as I see Ramirez, Judy, and another officer staring down at me. I decide to reach out and grab the superior officer, and my arms tear through the body bag I'm wrapped up in without much issue. In short order, I feel another bullet rip through me as the superior officer plants a bullet between my eyes. Apparently getting shot in the head is inconvenient for a succubus, and I'm passed out again. Next time I regain consciousness, I'm standing and staring at the inside of another body bag. I struggle, but I'm strapped down hard to something. I mean really strapped. My head, neck, shoulders, chest, waist, hips, legs and feet. Jesus, the effing thing came back. I hear Judy shout. Ramirez is next. Who the hell is she? It, Judy shouts. That is not a woman. F you, I shout. Let me go, you pigs. Ramirez continues. She's an effing Barney, for Christ's sake, you hear her talk? Judy interrupts. Hang a left there. We're going to go to the church. A third male speaks now. Is that why we're heading to Copley? Yes, we're going to Trinity Church. We need a priest, not a doctor, Judy continues. Okay, whatever, the driver says. I feel the vehicle driving, and I remember my kiss on Ramirez. Closing my eyes, I feel my horns heat up. You want to save me. She's trying to kill me. Crash the truck. Set me free. I hear Judy suddenly shout. Ramirez, where are you going? Hey, what the... The driver shouts before 3 shots go off. I feel the vehicle swerve and suddenly crash. The gurney I'm strapped to falls over as I try to free myself. There's a struggle in the vehicle now that has come to a stop. Ramirez, stop! Judy shouts. You're trying to kill her. I need to save her. I hear Ramirez drone. Don't reach for it, Ramirez. Put it down. Ramirez! I hear 2 gunshots. I'm grinning ear to ear, still strapped down. In a moment I'll be unstrapped and free. I feel the gurney get set straight up, right up. The zipper to the body bag is removed. However, I'm not too pleased with what I see. It's Judy, and boy does she look pissed. Her face is bloodied and I can somehow tell it's not her blood. You made me shoot my own partner, you bitch. I'm going to send you back to hell. Before I can do anything, the bag is zipped and I feel myself being wheeled up some steps. Judy grunting with each tug as I do my best to make things difficult for her. Once we're at the top of the stairs, however, I feel strange. The unending hunger leaves me. What did Belial tell me? Be careful not to get yourself stuck in a church. Your powers don't work on holy ground. Judy's voice screams, resounding through what I assume is the inside of a church. I need a priest. Seriously, I need a priest. A moment goes by and I hear an older man's voice. Child, please. This is the house of God. He hears all. There's no need to shout. I close my eyes and concentrate on hiding my shape, trying to pick something innocent, but it doesn't feel right. I can see again as she unzips the body bag. Jesus, Mary and Joseph, the priest says, shocked. I'm confused and I realise, as the priest touches my horns, that I didn't change shape. What the hell? I lock eyes with him, trying to get him to maybe unstrap me. Judy's hand goes over my eyes. Don't look at her eyes when she does that. She took over my partner and I had to, oh God, Father, he had already killed someone for her. And he was going to kill me. She's some kind of demon. The priest says plainly. The body bag is zipped up. I have a call to make. Take it to the courtyard. It's a few minutes of silence before I hear the worst thing I've heard all day. I just called. We have to burn her. On holy ground. F off, I shout. Judy's voice is next. Okay, I'll get some wood. How about you just let me go? I shout. Before long, and a lot of really frightening sounds of wood being piled up somewhere, I'm wheeled on top of something. If you bastards are going to burn me, could you at least knock me out first? The body bag unzips entirely and Judy's face is mine. I'm going to listen to you burn, bitch, for what you did to my partner. I narrow my eyes, all bets off. Your partner wanted nothing more than to plough me 8 ways to Sunday, and all I did was kiss him once. Judy flicks a lighter. Go back to hell, bitch. I grab her hand tight with mine, tugging her close to me. You willing to go down with me? Judy tries to tug away from my hand, but the strength of the men I drained is still there, and she can't budge me. Judy puts the lighter out and goes for a gun. I grab her other hand. I squeeze both of her hands until I feel bones break. Judy screams and looks to behind me. Father, light it! But you're still. Do it! Judy shouts, interrupting him. I feel the heat around us, but I still hold on tight. See you down there. I don't think we're going to the same place, Judy says, before she screams as the flames consume us both. And that, my friends, is the end of part 4. Wow, this has been the longest ever Spooky Sessions video. I really do hope that you've enjoyed it. Again, I apologise for it being so late, but let me know what you think about episode 4 in the comments. And if these videos are too long and you just want 1 episode a week instead of 2, please let me know. It's extremely important because, as you know, I'm guided by you. Well, I want to thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for listening to me and watching Candle. I hope it's been a great session for you and that you've enjoyed it. I want to wish all of you a wonderful weekend, and all being well, I'll see you all very, very soon. And in the meantime, I'll start to try and be less swollen than I am now. So take care. I love you all. And I want to wish you a very, very happy weekend and to wish you a good night. Good night.